Magandang tanghali, Pilipinas. Haharap po muli ang ating Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte mamayang gabi para malaman na natin kung anong mangyayari sa atin pagdating ng 1 ng Hunyo. Matapos ang mahigit 80 araw, nasa na ba tayo sa laban sa COVID-19? May pagbabago ba sa pagdating ng Lunes? Antabayan po natin ang mensahe ng Pangulo sa ating mga kababayan ngayong gabi. Meanwhile, pumalo na po sa mahigit 15,000 ang kaso ng COVID-19 sa Pilipinas ayon sa pinakahuling datos ng Department of Health. May 318 na bagong kaso ang naitala kahapon. Ang taas po nito, kaya patuloy po tayo sa ating panawagan na ipagpatuloy na sundin ang ating mga health protocols tulad ng pagsusuot ng face mask, pag-obserba ng social or physical distancing, paghuhugas ng kamay at paglabas lamang upang bumili lang ng mga essentials. Be a homeliner, in other words. Hindi po lahat ng mga bayani nakakapa, ang iba nakapambahay lamang po. Patuloy naman nating tumaas nga ang mga recoveries natin. Ngayon po meron na tayong recoveries na 3,506 habang meron naman po tayong 904 na deaths. Makikita po natin sa graph nito na sumipa po talaga sa mga nakalipas na araw at patuloy po ang pagsipa ng dami ng mga kaso, bagong kaso ng COVID-19. At yung mga namamatay, bahagya pong tumaas din sa nakalipas sa 2 araw yung numero ng mga namamatay. At ang mabuting balita naman po, tumaas din po sa 2 araw na nakalipas ang mga numero ng gumaling sa sakit ng COVID-19. Update naman po tayo dun sa ating mga OFW repatriates. Ang mga impormasyong nakapaloob ay galing sa OWA, National Task Force Against COVID-19 at BCDA. Nako, halos 16,000 na po, mahigit 16,000 na mga OFW ang nakauwi sa kanilang mga tahanan mula nang pinag-utos po ng Presidente Duterte ang pagpapauwi ng lahat ng mga kababayan na nag-aantay ng kanilang resulta ng PCR test. O ulitin ko po, lahat po itong mahigit na 16,000 bago pinauwi, negatibo po sila sa COVID-19 PCR tests. Meron po tayong 3 flights na kaschedule kaninang umaga papuntang Davao, Dumaguete at Puerto Princesa. May mga flights pa po pamayang hapon para sa iba't ibang destinasyon. May 2 pong barko na aalis ngayong araw, tag-1,000 po ang sakay niyan. Una, ang MV St. Michael, the Archangel na papuntang Cebu, Dumaguete, Osamis, Iligan, Zamboanga na may capacity na higit 800 na pasahero na may social distancing. Pangalawa, ang MV St. Agustin of Hippo na bound for Cebu na kaya magsakay ng higit na 400 na pasahero na may social distancing. May tinatayang 100 bus ang bumiyahe sa iba't ibang destination sa Luzon para ihatid ang ating mga kababayan na OFWs. Para po sa mga hindi pa nakakakuha ng kanilang certificates, may hinahanda po kaming infographics na po pwedeng sundin ng ating mga kababayan. Step number 1, mag-login po sa https://quarantinecertificate.com/ para mag-request ng kopya ng inyong quarantine certificate. Step 2, mag-fill ng form na may tamang impormasyon at i-upload ang mga kinakailangan ng mga requirements. Step 3, matatanggap ninyo at i-download nyo po ang inyong digital certificate at notification sa inyong email. At step 5, mag-login po sa https://quarantinecertificate.com para i-verify kung valid ang inyong certificate. Step 5, mangyaring tumawag po sa aming support team. Ang kanilang numero at email address ay naka-flash sa screen. Kaano pa bang pera ang natitira para sa COVID-19? Magkano ba ang rini-align nating pondo ayon sa special power na binigay sa ating Presidente ng Kongreso? Paano natin ginastos itong mga na-realign na pondo? Well, ngayon po lahat itong mga katanungan ay bibigyan ng kasagutan ng wala pong iba kundi ang ating kalihim ng Department of Budget and Management. So walang iba po kundi si Secretary Wendell Avisado. Sec, welcome and good morning.
Good morning po sa ating lahat. Good morning sa Kari at sa lahat ng bumubuo ng Malacanang Press Corps. Isang malaking pagkakataon itong naibigay sa akin upang mailahad natin ang estado ng pundo ng bayan, lalo tigit sa patuloy natin na sagot sa mga kailanganing pera para matustusan ang ating gastusin sa COVID-19. Kung inyo pong mamarapatin, dalawa lang naman po yung slides na inihanda ko para po diretso lang tayo sa punto ng pag-uusapan natin. How has the government funded and continue to fund and will continue to address the COVID-19 funding requirements in the coming days? As of today po, May 28, 2020, funds amounting to 353.8 billion has already been released to various departments and agencies of the government to support their COVID-related interventions. And this was made possible through the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, which authorized the President to realign, reallocate, and reprogram both the 2019 and the 2020 budgets respectively. Of this amount, 246 billion more or less came from the pooled savings, 96 billion, 0.7 from the unprogrammed appropriation, and 10.6 billion from reprogramming of beneficiaries and purpose of the existing PAPs, or program activities and projects. For the particulars on the fund releases, please go to slide 2, please. We have there the releases that we have made for the various departments. For DSWD, for the first tranche, we released 100 billion. For DOLE, which is for COVID Adjustment Measures Program for Overseas Filipino Workers, an initial amount of 1.5 billion. We also provided bayanihan grants to cities and municipalities for them to be able to also respond to the local needs for COVID at 30.8 billion, which is equivalent to an additional 1 month internal revenue allotments. And for the provinces, 6.1 billion, equivalent to 1/2 of their total monthly ERA. And for the DOH, an initial amount of 1.9 for the various RT-PCR SARS-CoV-2 detection kits. And for DA, for the ALPAS program, 8.5 billion to make sure that we're able to approximate the food requirements of the country and get to prepare, not only talking of COVID here, but also natural calamities that may come anytime. And then we gave the balance of 96 billion to the SWD for the SAP, or the Social Amelioration Program. We also provided funding support to DILG PNP for the operational requirements of 93 million, DND Armed Forces of 150 million. Then we gave another 1 billion to DOLE, or Department of Labor and Employment, for our OFWs of 1 billion. And just recently to the UPPGH to augment their operational requirements of 400 million, all totaling 246.6 billion. For the unprogrammed appropriation, we released 51 billion to the Department of Finance to cover the requirements for small business wage subsidy program, and the other one is for the DOH, which is the bulk of the requirements for COVID, at 45.7 billion, all totaling 96.7 billion added to the previous releases of 246. So there you have a total of 353.8 billion expenses for COVID-19 of the national government as of today. Secretary and members of the Malacanang Press.
Okay. So, yung mga tanong po para kay Sec Avisado, siguro po itawag nyo na ngayon or miski tumawag po kayo dahil para maitanong din yung mga tanong kay Secretary Avisado. Pero tawagan muna po natin si Maricel Halili ng TV5. Again, Malacanang Press Corps, please queue up for Skype or send your questions or call, no? Iko-queue po namin ang tawag nyo for your questions kay Secretary Avisado. Maricel?
Hi sir, magandang hapon po. Sir, as you mentioned earlier, nasa 15,000 na po yung ating COVID-19 cases. And kung susumahin from Sunday until yesterday, ibig sabihin nasa 1,000 plus cases po yung nadagdag sa atin. If this is the case, sir, are we ready to relax the quarantine here in Metro Manila should IATF approve the recommendation of Metro Manila Council na from MECQ ilagay na sa GCQ come June 1 yung buong NCR?
Well, Maricel, let me put it this way. Habang walang bakuna, habang wala pong gamot, talagang tataas ang numero ng COVID-19. Ang tanong, meron ba tayong sapat na kakayahan para bigyan ng medical assistance yung ating mga kababayan na posibleng magkasakit? At ang tinatanong din natin is ganong kabilis yung pagdoble ng sakit. Now, nakikita po nating datos ay bumagal po ang dobling rate. Sa huling datos po na sang-ayon sa na pinagbasihan ng rekomendasyon ng mga Metro Manila mayors, no, halos isang buwan na raw po ang doubling rate ng sakit na yan. At nakapaghanda naman po tayo ng mas maraming lugar kung saan natin i-confine yung mga asymptomatic na mga positive for COVID-19 para yung mga hospital natin ay matanggap yung mga seryoso at critical na mga kaso. At siyempre po, importante rin, balansehin natin yan yung ating ekonomiya, no? Dahil kung buhay naman tayong hanap buhay, no? Ganun din po ang suma total. Kaya nga po ang pakiusap natin, mga kababayan, makipagtulungan po tayo, no? Social distancing, good hygiene, manatiling malusog po, no? Nang sa ganun, mapabagal pa natin yung doubling rate ng COVID-19. But I don't think it's an issue na talagang sa ngayon po, habang walang gamot, talagang dadami pa rin po ang kaso ng COVID-19. Balansehin lang po natin and we need everyone's cooperation. Yung kabataan at mga matanda, kahit ano pang community quarantine yan, manatili po tayo sa ating mga bahay. Yung lalabas ng bahay ay yung mga meron na pong mga trabaho at kung wala naman pong trabaho, manatili sa bahay. At yung mga nagtatrabaho, kung po pwede magtrabaho po sa bahay, manatili po sa bahay and work from home.
So sir, NCR is ready for GCQ?
Well, NCR is ready from the data that we have seen, but that really depends on the cooperation of everyone. Ilinawin ko lang po, kahit anong anunsyo ng Presidente mamayang gabi, pwede po tayong bumalik sa ECQ muli kung ang datos ay magpapakita na napakabilis na naman ang doubling rate. Cooperation po.
Sir, isa po dun sa mga concerns, particularly doon po sa Baybay Leyte, sinabi po kasi ng mayor doon na yung first case of COVID daw po nila is part of the Balik Probinsya program. So, of course, this is a cause of nagkaroon sila ngayon ng first case. So, ano po ba yung directive ng government tungkol po dun sa mga pinapabalik natin sa provinces? Are they also required to undergo test? How can we ensure na hindi magiging cause ng spread ng virus yung Balik Probinsya?
Well, dito po sa pilot ng Balik Probinsya, no, ang alam ko po, lahat po ng bumabalik sa probinsya ay binibigyan din ng test, no? Pero local governments of course are encouraged also to have their own test facilities at to quarantine yung mga balik probinsya participants, no? I'm making a distinction between balik probinsya and yung mga OFWs po, kasi yung OFWs lahat po yan 100% PCR tested na. Gayunpaman, meron pa rin kayong diskresyon kung gusto nyong i-quarantine. Ibig sabihin talaga pong may mga pagkakataon na makakapasok talaga yung sakit sa lugar natin. Ang importante po is to, number 1, test, and then number 2 is to trace, and number 3 is to treat. 333 or T3.
Sir, Opo, last na lang on other issue lang, sir. Why is there a need to, given na, as we all know, the President's primary advocacy is anti-illegal drugs. So what does it say? Bakit si General Aaron Aquino from PIDEA to Clark International Airport?
Actually, the issue of appointment is a presidential prerogative. The President does not have to explain why. But General Aaron Aquino was simply given a new and more challenging position. And of course, we welcome the new Director General, Wilkins Villanueva, who also comes to the job with impeccable credentials. Yes, Yusek Roque.
Yes, good afternoon, Secretary Roque. From Girly Linaw ng DPA, reaction daw po ninyo sa Human Rights Watch report that children suffered lasting physical, emotional, and economic harm from the drug war of the Duterte administration.
Well, hindi ko po alam kung anong basihan ng report na yan. Hindi ako makakakomento kasi hindi ko po nakita pa yung report na yan. But alam nyo naman, kilala naman natin ang mga human rights organizations. Their goal is always to call attention of the government. Sa ating punto naman po, hindi na kinakailangan tawagan ng pansin dahil binibigyan po natin ng number one importansya ang ating kabataan.
Tanong ni Belia Carriazo of Bandera, tutol daw po si Pasig Mayor Vico Soto sa pahayag ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na hindi matutuloy ang pagbubukas ng klase sa August 24 since pinaghahandaan na raw po nila ang senaryo kung saan hindi pa pwede ang face-to-face learning. Magiging option po ba na ibigay sa mga LGUs ang desisyon kung itutuloy ang scheduled opening ng klase sa August?
Yan po ay desisyon ng DepEd, no? Pero lilinawin ko po, ang blended learning, hindi naman altogether mawawala ng face-to-face. Siguro mga maliliit at saka paminsan-minsan, no? To supplement yung instruction by computer, by radio, and by TV, no? So, ang lilinawin ko lang po, ang mensahe ng Presidente, hindi niya ilalagay sa alanganin ang kalusugan ng ating kabataan. Pero meanwhile po, meron namang mga hakdang ginagawa ang DepEd para tuloy-tuloy din po ang pag-aaral ng ating mga kabataan.
Tanong po ni Chris Jose ng Remate, sinabi po ng Alliance of Concerned Teachers Act Philippine na ang pagsisimula daw po ng school year without conducting mass testing is a sure recipe for disaster. Maaari raw pong malagay sa panganib ang buhay ng mga guro at mga mag-aaral. Ano po ang masasabi ng palasyo dito?
Ang meron po tayo expanded targeted testing, no? So meron po tayong representative sample, and on the basis of which makakakuha tayo ng tamang statistical figure kung ilan talagang porsyento ang nahawahan na ng COVID-19, no? Pero tingin ko yung tanong niya is no longer relevant kasi nga po we are exploring blended learning rather than face-to-face learning. Trish Terada.
Hi, Secretary. Good afternoon po. Secretary, like what you mentioned earlier, na yung risk is still there even if we ease up the quarantine protocols in Metro Manila and even if systems are in place, sir. We're interested to know how confident is the IATF or the government in terms of yung level of compliance, sir, and the discipline ng mga tao in Metro Manila when they recommended to ease up restrictions or protocols here in NCR. And at the same time, sir, ano po yung concrete steps or measures na tinitignan ng government para ma-make sure na susunod po talaga yung mga tao and magko-comply sila? Because it's one thing to say that we should practice social distancing, wash your hands, but sir, in actual situations, makikita po natin, for example, in areas of convergence, sa mga public transportation, minsan nawawaglit po yung mga ganitong reminders.
Well, Trish, no, the level of confidence is very high. Una-una, napatunayan ng mga Pilipino na kaya nilang sumunod. Dahil naman, by and large, no, itong more than 70 days na tayo nagkaroon ng ECQ at MECQ, pinatunayan natin na disiplinado po ang mga Pilipino. At tingin ko, alam din ng mga Pilipino na mas malaki yung magiging banta sa kanilang buhay at kabuhayan kung sa puntong ito, matapos na nawala ng 70 days tayo at nakakulong lang tayo sa ating mga pamamahay, ay babalik sila sa dati. No? Now, let me emphasize though na bagamat tayo po ay baka magbago, no? At bahala po si Presidente mamayang gabi, kahit anong MCQ yan o GCQ yan, we remain under community quarantine. Ibig sabihin, meron pa rin tayong mga checkpoints, meron pa rin po tayong mga curfews. So hindi naman po completely mawawala yung ating mga existing responses, no, to make sure na hindi naman po balik sa quarantine.
Secretary, during the IATF meeting yesterday, na-discuss po ba kung paano yung magiging itsura ng these protocols have been eased in yung recommendation ng Metro Manila mayors in terms of transportation scheme or yung original GCQ transportation scheme po yung ipatutupad?
Matagal na po yung GCQ scheme, no, na inapprove ng IATF. May mga naririnig akong ibang mga opisyales na nagsasabi ng mga ibang bagay. Babalik at babalik po tayo sa IATF guidelines. From 10 to 50% po ang pagbalik ng public transportation.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thank you, Trish. Balik tayo kay Yusek.
Francis ng Daily Tribune, during your guesting daw po sa Wawawin ni Willie Revilla, may mention of his desire to meet President Rodrigo Duterte at meron daw po siya gusto nga sabihin sa kanya. May kinalaman po ba daw yon sa pang mga business partners niya in relation sa COVID-19? Ang pangalawa niyang tanong, what made you daw po decide to guest on a Revilla Miss program? Do we expect to see you more often sa show niya? Did he offer you na maging co-host?
Nako, bawal ata yung maging co-host, but I would have loved to get the pay, no? But anyway, unang-una po, no, pinarating niya po sa akin na meron siyang substantial na donasyon at ang aking rekomendasyon ay instead of cash, gamitin na lang niya in kind, either in the form of PCR testing kits, kasi yan po yung importante, o yung pagpapagawa ng Wihilas One Center, kasi bagamat infrastruktura, no? And he was very receptive to my suggestion, no? And I emphasized to him po na talagang yan naman talaga sa parte ng gobyerno at ng pribadong sektor. What made me decide to appear? Well, the opportunity to disseminate further. No? Alam naman po natin na talagang malaki ang viewership niyan. And kung napanood nyo naman po, about 70% of the time we were talking about the community quarantine. We were talking about government programs. So it's a different way of sending the message of hope that the Duterte administration is offering to our countrymen in times of crisis. Joseph Morong.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Good afternoon, sir. When we, who's going to select yung mga areas, targeted lockdown as discussed by Secretary Anyo?
Who's in coordination with the local IATF, no? And this has long been planned. So ang magiging covered by ECQ will be individual barangays and their adjacent areas, kasi hindi naman po pwede na pati yung adjacent area, kung mataas yung concentration sa isang barangay, hindi masasama yung adjacent area. As really a compromise, the need to resume the reopening of the economy and the need to contain further the spread of COVID-19. No? So ang decision po, pinapaubaya sa lokal na opisyales, but in coordination pa rin with IATF.
May parameters ba, sir, ng number of cases or prevalence or rate, mga ganun?
It's the same. It's the same criteria, no? It's the doubling rate. Siyempre, when you check the doubling rate, dapat alam mo muna kung ano yung current rate mo, the doubling rate, and of course, the critical care of the area.
Sir, yung mga nasa GCQ ngayon, do they have a better chance of being transferred to an MGCQ? And paano yung magiging, what's the difference between an MGCQ?
Well, the MGCQ is a transition between GCQ and the new normal. Of course, there will be further industries that will be open, but at the same time, what will be consistent is the youth and the elderly who are not working should stay home.
On you, and then I'll go to Secretary Avisado. Sir, sabi ni Secretary Anyo, tama ba?
Nasa guidelines naman po yan from 10 to 50 kapag GCQ na.
Alright. Sir, can I go to Secretary Avisado?
Yes, please.
Just one quick question.
Yes, please.
Secretary Avisado, good morning. Good afternoon,
Yes.
sir. Hi, sir. How are you doing? Yes, sir. Sa presentation niyo po, 353 billion already yung nalabas natin na pera, and still have the community quarantines up to June 15, and some areas will still din silang supportahan. Do we have enough budget, or are we looking at proposing already a supplemental budget, and how much will that be, sir?
Thank you to totoo yan. This is a continuing saga, kumbaga, and we need to really be prepared, particularly on the matter of providing the necessary funding support to all of our activities in response to COVID. Sa ngayon, ang nilahad ko sa inyo ay yun lamang galing sa pooled savings. No? Matter of fact, mas malaki po yung figures na yan. Hindi pa namin nakukuha yung report ng mga ibang departments and agencies who on their own, through their regular budgets, ay nag-realign din ng pundo nila para din makasagot sila at makatulong sa mga programa, no, in response to COVID. So, ito lang pong nilihad ko ay yung galing lang mismo management. But we're sending out the corresponding communication agencies who on their own initiative also responded utilizing their regular budget. Dahil authorized naman sila, basta within their regular budget lamang. Now, in relation to magtatagal ito, remember that to heal as one act has only a lifespan of 3 months. That is all the way up to June 23 lamang. And we're glad that both houses, Senate, have come up with a unified decision to extend the validity up to another 3 months or at least up to September. So by then, patuloy lang din po yung ginagawa na mandato sa ating Pangulo na tungayan kung ano pa yung mga pangangailangan at gamitin ang available na pera natin na pag-usapan po namin sa Economic Development Cluster at kahit sa DBCC yung posibilidad na kung pwedeng maglahad tayo ng supplemental budget. Sa ngayon po, hindi po natin pwedeng gawin yan dahil ang requirements po ng supplemental budget ay meron tayong new source of revenues or taxes at pangalawa, kung merong excess, no, sa collection natin. In both cases, wala po. So wala pong pagbabasihan ang ating pinag-iisipang supplemental. It's really a combination of kung ano pa yung mga monetary and fiscal policies na pwedeng gawin ng gobyerno. And of course, the other one is really yung which is because we need to sacrifice some of these projects para magamit po natin para dito sa COVID.
Okay. Sir, Secretary Roque. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Sir, I understand that the IATF has already presented to the President the recommendation yesterday. And what was the President's response?
Anong recommendation sa?
The GCQ.
Well, ang Presidente mismo mag-aanunsyo. Kung napapansin nyo naman po, recommendatory ang IATF at may mga pagkakataon na po na nababago ng Presidente. Kaya nga po, hindi ako nagsasalita hanggang hindi pa nagsasalita ang Presidente dahil until he has actually approved it, it is tentative. No? At past experience, meron pong binabago kahit pa paano ang Presidente.
But the recommendation is GCQ?
Yusek Roque, I don't want to steal the thunder from the President. The President will announce po.
Okay.
Yes,
Secretary, may tatlong tanong si Joel Peleño ng DWIC. Una, sabi niyo daw po kahapon sa interview niyo na kasama sa mga TV station na posibleng gamitin para sa blended learning ay mga private companies na gaya ng ABS-CBN. Ibig sabihin po ba nito, Secretary, maaprubahan na before August 24 ang franchise ng ABS-CBN?
Ang sinasabi ko lang po is lahat po ng private companies na tap po, no? And if ABS-CBN can come back on the air, I'm sure as a way of showing their commitment to the Filipino broadcast to be used for educational purposes. And it goes naman for all the broadcast companies in operation. Lalong-lalo na po yung mga community, no? Kasi sa dami po ng mga grades natin, I'm sure we would need more than 1, more than 2, more than 3 companies at a time, no? To to partner with DepEd for long distance learning, for distance learning.
Second question niya, may mga lugar na po ba na masasabi na nating lahat ng beneficiaries doon ay nakatanggap na ng second tranche ng Social Amelioration Program?
Wala pa po sa second tranche. Hindi pa sila nagsisimula. Yung 5 million po, verify pa nila yung mga pangalan. Pero inaasahan po natin mas mabilis yan kasi nga they're using technology to distribute the second tranche.
In case lang po daw na napatupad na itong second tranche at may mananagot pa daw po kung hindi na-meet yung deadline.
Siyempre po, bagamat nasabi na po ni Secretary Bautista na electronic at tapos makipag-ugnayan pa rin sa local government, but they will also use the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, follow-up lang yung kay Joseph kasi may kumakalat sa social media na IATF Resolution number 40 placing Metro Manila under GCQ. Can you confirm this document, sir?
I released by my office.
Alright, sir. Sir, nabanggit po ni Secretary Anyo yung buses nga po, 50% operation under GCQ, pero nasabi ng MMDA and Metro Manila Council na they don't want the operations of buses and jeepneys to resume under GCQ. Did the IATF take that into consideration in making the recommendation to the President?
In fact, I noticed that, Pia, and General Manager from IATF will take precedence. Kailangan sundin po yung guidelines ng IATF.
Alright, sir. Sir, last question before I go. Yun dun sa testing kasi you announced the 30,000 na testing capacity.
32.
Pero malayo po ito, 32, oh yes.
Yes.
Pero ang target natin is only 30,000. Pero ito sir, malayo po ito sa number ng mga actual tests being conducted daily. Like noong May 25, bumagsak yung actual test to 5,233. Is the palace bothered by the fact na hindi natin na ma-maximize yung actual testing capacity natin, considering na yung data ng DOH ang ginagamit ng IATF as basis for their decisions on the community quarantine, sir?
Let's just say po na mas marami pang Pilipinong uuwi at lahat po sila bibigyan ng PCR testing. I'm hoping that the DOH can actually increase the ship between government and private sector. Ang pinakamalaking lab po ay ang Red Cross Lab, pero pinalalawak na rin natin ang capability ng mga pang-publikong hospital. Last week po, yung nagkaroon tayo ng 10,000 additional testing capacity dahil binigyan na natin ng makina at testing kits ang mga probinsya, para doon na nga lang sila ang quarantine while waiting for PCR results. Well, I'm sure there's a learning curve, but I'm hoping that the DOH also will take steps para mapataas po yung actual testing being conducted.
Alright, sir. Sir, question lang po kay Secretary Avisado.
Go ahead, please.
Opo.
Yes, sir. Sir, how soon can we know yung how much doon sa mga line budgets ng mga agencies will be realigned for the government's COVID-19 response? And also, sir, doon sa realignment process, ano po yung mga standards na sinet natin to decide which projects can be sacrificed? And kasama din po ba dyan, sir, yung pondo for the Build program?
Sige po. Ganito po yun. Following the instruction of the President, we also comply with the mandate given by Congress. Ating tiningnan yung kabuuan ng mga projects na are still with DBM. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga unappropriated and unreleased appropriations. Kaya po, ang instruction sa amin kung ano yung nandyan, gamitin na muna natin para sa COVID. Pero hindi rin kami nag-cancel ng projects dahil nasa GAA yan So, ibig sabihin, parang hiniram muna yung pera habang tinatansya pa natin kung magkano matitira at kung meron ng mga departments yan, kung alin yung mas prioritized projects or most needed projects na yun ang paggagamitan natin. At yung shortfall niyan, ilalagak doon sa ensuing year or 2021 budget. Nang ganun ay maipagtuloy pa rin. Plus kung meron pang makita paggagamitan ng pera or source of funds, di madadagdag din natin para sa 2020. Kung ano po yung available, dahil yung po din naman talaga ang kinakailangan at Lahat naman po ay aming inire-report at in-report namin sa Kongreso bayan na nagsisikap talaga ang gobyerno na matugunan ang pangangailangan dito sa COVID-19.
Sir, may in-impose ba tayong deadline for the departments, for their reports?
Yung report po nila ay periodic naman yon, no? Statements of appropriation, allotment, obligation, disbursements, and balances. So regular din po namin inire-report yan sa Pangulo at dito po nga sa National Budget Circular namin on the adoption of economy measures in government situation, nagbigay po kami ng panukala na kailangan po ang head of agency duly certified by their authorized budget shall include specific source of PPAs covering the released amount para po malaman natin kung alin po talaga doon sa nagamit natin pera ang naapektuhang mga proyekto at they're supposed to submit that as of end of April at kinukulit po namin para nang sa ganun malaman po namin kung ilan po talaga sa mga nakalinyang project for this year ang naapektuhan at alin po sa mga naapektuhan ang pwedeng ma-revive because that is also allowed under the Bayanihan Act. Kung magkano pa yung natitira at kung pwedeng magamit this year up to at least the extent of the amount that can be used this year para po ang mangyayari po most of these projects ay will be classified under the multi-year contractual authority na ibibigay ng DBM para lang po hindi naman matigil at hindi ma-cancel at may pagpapatuloy pa rin po.
Alright, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yusek Roque.
Secretary from Rosa